final topic I raised at the Dewan Negara in my Senate speech was concerning my hometown, Sibu, as well as the Rejang Basin, the area surrounding Sibu. I have grown up in Sibu and seen the condition in Sibu now, and I have seen how Sibu has boomed in the 60s, 70s and 80s from the natural resources, especially timber. There were a lot of wealth, a lot of growth development in the town. But unfortunately, those heydays are gone, and now we can see part of the Sibu town has turned into a slum. The infrastructure has been damaged, it's broken. We got septic tank that's not working, the roads and drain. The whole place is dilapidated, and new investment, a new plan has to be worked out for Sibu. And the other thing that is occurring frequently in Sibu is flooding. Sibu is situated by the Rejang River, the longest river in Malaysia. And Sibu is low-lying, and certain area is actually peat, which is sinking. And the level is actually below the high water mark during the high tide. So it's subject to flooding very frequently. The immediate need is Sibu is actually to complete the flood mitigation project that started in 2008 to build a pump and pump stations. There were already so far 7 pump stations being built, and phase 1 and phase 2 of the flood mitigation has been built from Upper Landan up to 2/3 of Landan Road, but it has not been completed. It's stalled for a while. Now phase 3 is going on, and that is on the other end of Sibu, facing the Batang Ikan and the Kampong area. So the center portion of Sibu from the lower part of Landan to Kupang Road, the town center, that area has not been built with one or any of these flood mitigation projects. And that is the area where flood happens all the time. Fortunately, the state government has stepped forward to build this part of the missing link of the flood mitigation project from the lower Landan Road to the town centre in Kupang Road. The total cost is about 120 million. The state government has agreed to fund it. And one has to ask, is flood is under the care of federal government, and this should rightly be built by the federal government, and yet the state government will have to pay for it now, as we can no longer delay and let this part of town be flooded every now and then. Sarawak has contributed so much money, so much funds to the national coffer. In particular, the 95% of our oil royalty goes to the federal government, as well as to a lot of tax, income tax, inland revenue collections from individual, from company has been paid. And it is only right for the people of Sarawak, and in particular for Sibu, to see some of these funds return to do up the infrastructure for the people here, as we have contributed our fair share to the national coffer. Here, I will ask the federal government to fund the last part of this flood mitigation project, so-called the phase 5, which will consist of 3.5 kilometers of pumps and 3 more pump stations. The estimated cost is about 280 to 300 million. I hope the federal government and the relevant ministry will fund this project as soon as possible without delay. The other one, as I mentioned just now, is that we need a plan for Sibu. The renewal, the redevelopment of Sibu town is in dilapidated condition. Talking about plans, Sibu has seen quite a few plans already. There was one done in 1999. The latest one was done in 2013 by the Jabatan Landscape Negara at a cost of about 1 million. The study has been done, but no implementation has been seen. So it's not talking about plan, but it's talking about we are now looking towards, hopefully there will be some implementation to see that Sibu is revitalized. The other illustration I want to give is to compare the funding from federal government for Sarawak, because Sarawak is such a huge landmass. What the federal government is given to us is definitely not enough, because Sarawak is being treated as one of 13 states. So when it comes to division of funding, of budget, Sarawak is treated as one of 13. If you don't take into account that Sarawak makes up to about 35 to 40% of the landmass of the whole country. Almost 40% of the landmass, and yet our budget we are looking at less than 10% because they are one of 13. Before I became a senator, I was holding the position of deputy chairman of Sibu Rural District Council. I'll give an illustration of Sibu Rural District Council. The area under Sibu Rural District Council, just a rural district council in Sarawak. There are 48 councils in Sarawak, and SLDC is just only one of them. And the area covered by SLDC is 5,870 square kilometers. 5,870. Now, as comparison to the states in West Malaysia, not the council, the states, Malacca is 1,664 square kilometers. Negeri Sembilan is 6,686 square kilometers. Perlis is 821 square kilometers. And the funding given to SLDC, I give two examples. In 2020 and 2019 for EP project. EP project is for some of those development projects in your area. In South Sibu Rural District was allocated the sum of 1 million in 2020, 1 million in 2020, and 1.2 million in 2019. And every year SLDC gets only 10 million for under the Malaysian Road Registration Information System that's called MARIS. This money is used for repairing of roads. Imagine 10 million to cover almost 6,000 square kilometers of area. Imagine we give 10 million to Negeri Sembilan just to repair the road in the whole state of Negeri Sembilan or Malacca. You see how big the discrepancy is for Sarawak.